Howdy everyone, Poacher here with an Age of Magic video. In today's video we are going to be looking at the second legendary hero released into the game, none other than Naja, the Dark Elf boss. So let's get into it and have a look at what this queen is all about. And here we are with the beauty herself, Naja, the Dark Elf boss. Fun little fact about her name, it's actually French for F Archons. True fact, don't look into it, you don't need to, just trust me. We'll go over her stats like we normally do. Hit points come in at 2.1 million, speed at 247, which is not too shabby. Armor 26k, magic damage resistance 36k, basic magic damage 123k, magic critical hit chance 36, magic critical damage 206, which is actually pretty interesting a bit later on, but we'll go into it. We'll go over her stats here. Again, you guys can pause this wherever you want and look at whatever you want. Pretty simple stuff. So now we'll jump over into the arena, see what she's capable of and what her abilities do. So going into battle, we have Naja's basic attack, Cobra Venom, deals damage to one target, has a 20% chance per Dark Elf in the party to increase the duration of debuffs on the target and another 2 random targets by 1 turn. So, I mean, again, it's almost like a special ability at this point. Increasing the debuffs on 3 targets, pretty decent, especially if it's like a lockdown or something. You're not doing too bad. So we're going to go ahead and use it against... Let's go Balthazar, why not? And look at the animation in action. Pretty cool. Does 100k damage. And Tyrus comes around and smacks us really hard. So yeah, pretty basic. Can increase debuff duration. And the Dark Elves have a lot of debuffs, so not too bad. We'll head around and look at her first special ability. Moving on to Naja's first special ability, we have Gloom of the Depths. Allies are guaranteed to perform 1 counterattack on the next enemy to attack them. In place of each killed ally, Drake the Shadow Slave is summoned, who disappears in 3 turns. While Drake is on the battlefield, a killed ally whose place has been thusly taken cannot be resurrected. A summoned Shadow Slave deals 80% more damage and has 84% of the maximum HP. The level, rarity, and equipment level of the summoned creature are equal to that of the summoner. The ability level of the summoned creature is equal to that level of the ability used to summon it. If Naja dies, all Shadow Slaves she has summoned also die. So super long ability. Doesn't do a lot though. It just summons Drakes if you have lost allies and gives counterattack to Dark Elves for 1 turn. Or not even 1 turn. 1 attack made against them. Honestly, a very underwhelming ability. We'll go ahead and use it. We summon 3 Drakes. And what I have noticed here is the Drakes don't even get summoned with the passive. So any damage the Azariel takes isn't split among the other Drakes, as you can see there. Not sure if intended or a bug. I am going to message Playcod about it and find out. But other than that, the Drakes just deal more damage and have more health. But if the Azariel's on the field, they're not really going to be targeting the Drakes unless they use their Acid Fog ability. So very interesting. Just, I feel like because the passive isn't there, there shouldn't be Drakes summoned. There should be a different character summoned. I mean, imagine Roynars, 3-4 Roynars on your team. Then your enemy would probably be a bit worried. But Drakes are designed to demolish, not even demolish, just take care of shielding. And I've tested it. The acid fogs they can cast aren't stackable, so you get 1 acid fog as well. Their first special ability can do a lot of damage, so that might be the upside of it. But that's about it. A very first special, especially when she's a legendary hero and you're comparing it to Artis, who's first special. What does his first special do? Something stupid, of course. So yeah, not a fan of her first special, but we'll move on to her other abilities and see what else she does. Moving on to her second special, we have the Gaze of Ishtar. Target cannot get bonus initiative and cannot dodge for 3 turns. This ability cannot be dodged, and debuffs cast with it cannot be blocked by Fortitude. Naja gets a 20% initiative bonus per Dark Elf in the party. The enemy cannot hide from attacks regardless of any other effects for 3 turns. So we're going to go ahead and use this on Sacrif. So the interesting part of this is the last part, the enemy cannot hide. This affects everyone on the enemy team. So let's go ahead and use the ability, see what it looks like. A big white-purple smoke comes up and Boom, there you go. The enemy has a lot of debuffs on them, and now it's up to you what you want to do here. We haven't gone over her last special ability yet. You can apply the counter attack, which won't be a horrible idea since Artis is about to wallop your ass. Not Artis, Tyros is about to wallop your ass, so a bit of damage on him. Or you could go ahead and use her basic attack here and increase the length of the debuff on the target you hit. So you could use it against Sacrif. Remember, those Sacrif can remove debuffs as well, so a lot of fun right there. So we are going to go ahead though and just use the basic attack and see what it does. See, it doesn't have a tally of how long the abilities are up for, or the debuffs are up for, but hopefully it just works. Have faith and hopefully it just works. So Sacrif casts her ability and there you go. So the second special ability, the Gaze of Ishtar, essentially gives Naja a second turn, and you can use it how you want. And then apart from that, we can go ahead and attack anyone we want, no matter if Magnus's taunt is up or not. So you'd probably want to save this ability. You probably wouldn't want to use it straight off the bat. You'd probably want to wait till Magnus's turn comes around first and his taunt is up, and then you'd work out how you want from there. I mean, this is just speculation. How you would actually use this team in battle, do not know yet, but that is how I would go. I'd wait for Magnus's taunt to come out first before using that ability. So we'll move on to her last special and then her passive. Moving on to her third special ability, we have the Touch of Ishtar, which triggers the Boss class mark. Remember, Roinar can apply the Boss class mark. Deals damage to one target which cannot be dodged, and debuffs cast with it cannot be blocked by Fortitude. Naja gets 100% damage bonus per debuff on the target, has a 20% chance per debuff on the target to cast an additional debuff on them, which causes the target to take 200% of the damage of Naja's base attack when they use their special ability, while Naja is still alive. So up to you how you want to use this ability. It can do a lot of damage, but for the sake of this video, and this is probably not how you'd want to use it at the start of the battle, but we're going to use the Gaze of Ishtar on the enemy Sacrif. Apply 3 debuffs. It gives us a second turn, and then we're going to apply the Touch of Ishtar to Sacrif as well. There we go. We see the debuff on her. It did a lot of damage to her as well. And when Sacrif's turn comes around, she will take damage equal to the... She took 219k damage there, and she healed up most of it. But as you can see, pretty interesting debuff. First of its kind. Whenever they use a special ability, they're going to take damage. It can be cleansed, I'm pretty sure. I haven't tested it, but I don't see why it couldn't be cleansed. In fact, we're going to just skip turns until we get to Sacrif's turn, because it says as long as Naja is alive. So let's speed up, get to Sacrif's turn. I don't care if we die, it doesn't matter. It's not the point of this video. I just want to see if the ability can be purged. And it can be. So Sacrif can get rid of it. So yeah, you got to watch out for that. So you probably want to work your abilities to use Roinar so he can remove buffs from the enemy, and then you would apply that debuff, and then that would start wrecking some damage. But by then they've used their special abilities. You're waiting for them to come off cooldown. So it's very interesting. It can do a lot of damage, absolutely, and it can give Naja a lot of damage as well. So especially when using it when they have a lot of debuffs, so she gets 100% damage bonus per debuff on the target. That's huge, especially if they've got 4 or 5 debuffs. So that she could probably half health, 3/4 their health with one of her abilities. So it'll be very interesting to see. Again, how she's used in battle properly, yet to be seen. But we'll move on to her passive, and then that's everything about her. Moving on to her leadership ability, Reign of Darkness. Allies can't deal critical hits, can't take a shield, and can't be healed by allies who aren't Dark Elves. Dark Elves in the party recover 40% HP from the damage they have dealt, and also get a 15% damage bonus, and other allies get half as much. At the start of her turn, she removes all debuffs on her, recovers 10% HP per debuff removed, and prevents initiative being lowered for all Dark Elves in the party. For 2 turns. Don't worry about the 2 turns. Essentially, Dark Elves' initiative can't be reduced if she's on the field. That's essentially all it is. She's a Archon negation tool. Allies can't critical hit, negates Sakura's passive, prevents initiative being reduced, negates Tyros. Her other ability allows you to attack whoever you want, bypasses Magnus. Very interesting hero. She, in all honesty, I feel like this is what Daimyo should have been. And then Naja should have been a lot better. I don't know how you could make her better. I'm not a fan of her special one. She can resurrect the Shadow Slaves. I'm not a fan of that. I don't feel like it's necessary. This team has sustained for days. You've got Azariel. You've got the healing from Naja. Drake can prevent Azariel. Drake essentially makes Azariel a tank, and everyone can just heal. I feel like her first special should be changed to something a bit more relevant. I feel like she should also have a passive, maybe, even if it's specific to Archons. I feel like this team should be able to demolish the Archons. I still feel like they're going to struggle a little bit. I'm not going to show it to you in the video. I'm not, okay? I've had people ask me. That's not the point of these videos. When she comes out, there will be that many people posting pictures and of how they're using it. I'm not taking that away from those people. I just feel like, I feel like this is what Daimyo should have been for the High Elves, and Naja should have been ramped up a little bit more. Counters to this are going to be Troran, because there's just so much healing going on. Unless they can wipe out dwarves real quickly, which maybe they can, and Troran isn't the counter, but the healing alone is going to stack up Roran's rain ability, and he's going to do a lot of damage to this team. Blood Emperor, possibly a counter. A lot of healing on this team. Get a Blood Mage anti-heal out, and it could cause a fair bit of damage. So that will be interesting. They're going to destroy the Archons. Not destroy them. Like I said, they might not even destroy them. They're going to win. They're going to beat them. But we'll see what happens. Naja, in comparison to Artis, a bit lackluster. But like I said, the Dark Elves were the answer to the Archons. But the answer's not really needed anymore with the release of the Barbarian buff and Seven Knives. I think they're doing pretty well countering the Archons. Again, not a solid victory, but they're doing the job. But we'll see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you're around the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.